Welcome back, students. In today's class we will talk about the poles and zeros of a transfer function. What is a pole and what is zero of a transfer function, and why poles and zeros are useful for the stability of the control system. So we will also draw the position of the poles and zeros in the S plane. Okay, we will see what is that now. Pole and zero of a transfer function. As you all know that what is a transfer function. Now I want to write about the pole and zero of the transfer function. Pole and zero of the transfer function. Okay. So what is a pole? What is a pole or what is a zero? You have to define. First it is zero. What is zero? These are the values. These are the values of S. These are the values of S for which the numerator of the transfer function, the numerator of the transfer function becomes zero. Becomes zero is called your definition of zero. Okay. Next, what is a pole? Pole is nothing but pole of the transfer function or pole of a transfer function are the values of S for which the denominator becomes zero, which denominator becomes denominator of a transfer function becomes zero. So this is about poles and zero. Okay. Now what we take an example for this. So writing the example for this of a pole and zero of a transfer function, let us see how to find out the pole and zero of a transfer function. Okay. So consider an example of it showing that find the transfer function for a system. Find the transfer function for the system given by the equation, given by some equation. We will write the equation d square y by dt square plus 7 into dy by y of t by dt plus 12y of t and we will have this expression. We will equate it to some value in terms of in x. dx of t by dt, dx of t by dt plus some value is there, that is given as 2 into x of t. 2 into x of t. This is the question. So this is the question, d square y by dt square plus 7 into y by dt plus 12 into y into dt by is equal to d of x t by dt plus 2 into x of t. So we are having this equal to here. This is y of t and x of t. So what we write here is where x of t is input and y of t is output. Where x of t is input and y of t is the output. Y of t is the output. So now we will solve this question. How to solve this? Okay. We will write in detail for it. So first of all, we will write here s square into y of s. What we do here is we will write this one in terms of the s square into y of s form. So applying the Laplace transform here, what we do is we are changing that y of t terms time domain into s domain. Applying the Laplace transform, for the equation for the equation, what we do here is d square y of t by dt square. So what you can write here, s square into y of s square into y of s. So the equation has become like this, s square into y of s plus s square into y of s plus 7 into what is dy of t by dt Laplace transform? It is y of s, s into y of s into y of s plus 12 y of t. So y of t, what is the Laplace transform for y of t? It is only y of s. So we have already done this Laplace transform, how to convert time domain to s domain. So this is the equation on the LHS side, and we are talking about the RHS side. So here like that only we have done dx of t by dt like this. So it is s into y of s, s into x of s, s into x of s plus 2 into x of s. There is no derivative here, so we are writing s of s, and if it is derivative, s into x of s. If double derivative, then s square into y of s. Okay, this equation is written, and from this equation, what you do here is you will be making this equation as a separate equation in y of s and x of s. Okay, so you take common this one, s square plus 7s plus 12 into y of s is equals to here it is s plus 2 into x of s, s plus 2 into x of s. So we have to write the transfer function for it. Na? So to write the transfer function, when it becomes y of s by x of s, y of x by s of x. So if you are okay with this, I will write here y of s by x of s is equals to s plus 2 by s square plus 7s plus 12. So we are writing the transfer function now. Okay. For writing the transfer function, the equation becomes like this. So if you see the equation here, it is y of s by x of s is equals to s plus 2 by s square plus 7s plus s square plus 7s plus 12. Now if you see here, we have to factorize this one. We have to factorize this equation of denominator, that is equals to s plus 2 by s plus 3 into s plus 4. These are the factors. You know how to factorize this one. Okay. So s plus 3 into s plus 4, nothing but s square plus 4s plus 3s plus 12. So you have got the factors of this, and you write the equation in this way. Now what you do here is you have to find out the value of s in the numerator. In the numerator, the value of s is here we can write h of s is equals to y of s by x of s is equals to h of s. So s plus 2 by s plus 3 into s plus 4. After that, what you have to do here, you have got this value. Now you have to find out this 0. S is equals to minus 2, and what is the poles? Poles is equals to s is equals to minus 3 comma minus 4. The denominator s value is called as poles, and numerator s value is called as 0. So s is equal to minus 2 is a 0, and poles, there are two poles here, minus 3 and minus 4 from the denominator, and from 0 it is s is equals to minus 2. After getting this one, what you have to do here is you got the poles and zeros. Now you draw a pole 0 diagram for this. Pole 0 diagram. What is a pole 0 diagram? Okay. So what is the pole 0 diagram? Pole 0 diagram is nothing but plot on a S-plane which represents the position of the zeros and poles. So we will see that on what is the S-plane. So it is a S-plane drawn, and here you can plot the values. 0 here, and -1, -2, -3, like that, 1, 2, 3, and here this j omega values, sigma values can consider. These are real values, these are complex values. Okay. Now what we have the values of zeros and poles here. S is equals to -2 and S is equals to -3 and -4. So what we do here is we will represent the poles by some symbol and zeros by some symbol. What is that poles representation symbol? The pole is represented by X. So poles X and zeros is equals to this symbol, the 0 symbol. So how many poles are there? You have to plot here. What is the S is equal to -2 is a 0. So you have to plot here 0, and the number of poles -3 and -4 are the poles. So these are the two poles plotted here. These are the two poles. Poles are into symbol, that is -3 and -4, and here the zeros are only 1 0, that is -2. From that equation we have seen that how to plot the poles and zeros by getting a transfer function, and how to write that poles and zeros here and draw the on the S plane. Okay, this is about the particular poles and zeros. So this complete plane is called as S plane, which is having 4 quadrants, is called as the S plane. Okay, now we will talk about what is the general form of this particular transfer function in zeros and poles. Okay, now general form of the transfer function we will write. So general form of the transfer function, general form of transfer function we will write. What is the general form of transfer function? So it is a general form we will write now. Transfer function is equals to S minus Z1, S minus Z1 into S minus Z2 into S minus Z3, so on, S minus Zn, divided by S minus P1 into S minus P2 into S minus P3 dash S minus Pn and so on. Okay. So here the zeros are S is equals to Z1, Z2, Z3 up to Zn, and here the poles are S values, that is S is equals to P1, P2, P3 dash up to Pn. So this is about the transfer function, and this is about the pole zero diagram, and this poles and zeros position we will be come to notice in the Raoult stability criterion also. So how the stability will be affected we will see. We will see about the stability. Now we will talk about the peak time. So already we have in the last class talked about the rise time now. So we will talk about the peak time and also about the peak overshoot and settling time, and later go to stability, and we do some problems in the Raoult stability criterion. Okay. So these are things are needed for coming topics. Okay. Now we are taking the peak time. What is the peak time? Already we have talked about the definition of the peak time, and now we will derive the equation for the peak time. Okay. So it is the time required to reach the peak, the response to reach the peak. Okay. Already the definition can be seen. Now we will see the peak time here. What is the peak time? For the peak time we will be asked some problems in the question paper, that is you can see that peak time. What is a peak time? What is rise time? The definitions are to be remembered here, so that the problems can be easily attempted, and the equations also very important. Peak time is C of t is equals to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n t, and 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n t by square root of 1 minus zeta square 1 minus zeta square into sine omega dt plus phi. Sine omega dt plus phi. This is nothing but the C of t value for the underdamped condition. Already we have derived this one for underdamped, critically damped, also very different types of conditions, cases, 4 cases we have derived. Now we will talk about this C of t is equals to 1 minus e power minus zeta omega n t by square root of 1 minus zeta square into sine omega dt plus phi. So this equation I have written from the underdamped case. So I will take this one, and for getting the peak time, what you have to do here is you have to take this equation and derivate it and equate it to 0. Peak means maximum. Already we have in mathematics we have seen that to get the maximum value, what we do the derivative and equate it to 0. So C of t is equals to 0 at t is equals to Tp. At t is equals to Tp should be equal to 0. So what we do now, we will derivate this one. And equate it to 0, and in place of t we keep t is equals to Tp. Making this particular thing as a derivative, we write here implies 0 is equals to 0, or what we can write here is after derivation of this equation, 1 is derived as it is 0, it becomes 0 minus, now 1 by square root of 1 minus zeta square is common. If we take 1 by square root of 1 minus zeta square as common, and you can write this uv rule, udv plus minus udv plus vdu rule. Okay, that particular thing you can write there, and you can simplify this equation. So it becomes, now I am derivating this and keeping this constant. Here e power minus zeta omega n t into, that is derivative of that one is minus zeta omega n, and this one is constant, sin omega d t plus phi is constant, again plus, now I have to keep this one as constant and derivate this one. So it is e power minus zeta omega n t into, what is the derivative of sine? It is cos. So cos omega d Tp plus phi. So we have derived here cos omega dt plus phi there, and also after derivation this one, the remaining term here is omega d also, because we have to simplify this one also, no derivation, omega dt plus phi, and Tp is constant, so it is omega d into omega d. So this equation we have got. After getting this equation, now what you do here is you have to send this 0 this to other side. Now we told that should be equal to 0. This should be equal to 0 to get the maximum value. So now write the equation e power minus zeta omega n t into minus zeta omega n into sine omega d t plus phi plus e power minus zeta omega n t into cos omega d Tp plus phi into omega d is equals to 0. Now getting that equation, what we get here is, this is minus zeta, so I can write here minus zeta omega n into e power minus zeta omega n t into sine omega dt plus phi plus e power minus zeta omega n t into cos omega d Tp plus phi into omega d is equal to 0. Now after getting this equation, what you have to do here is you can see common here some values. So what you see common here values zeta omega n. So zeta omega n is there here. Now we will see this and so here we can take out common omega n. See here this equation is written after writing this equation, we see that minus zeta omega n into e power minus dt. So here in omega d also we can write omega d is nothing but omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square is equal to 0. So what you do here, you take out common omega n. Omega n is common and therefore it is minus, also you can send that side, minus common and is equal to, it becomes 0. If you take out minus here, minus omega n e power minus zeta omega n t into sin omega dt plus phi minus, because minus of minus it's plus here. So e power minus zeta omega n t into cos omega d tp plus phi is equal to 0. So I have taken this common and equated to 0. Now this completely becomes 0 on that side and you will be having this value zeta is there, and here also you will be having omega n is also common. So square root of 1 minus zeta square, square root of 1 minus zeta square is equals to 0. Square root of 1 minus zeta square is equals to 0. So after getting this common, what you do here is you will be taking this Pythagoras theorem. By using the Pythagoras theorem, we will find out the values of this zeta and square root of 1 minus zeta square. So if you assume like this, if it is zeta and it is 1, it becomes square root of 1 minus zeta square. So here sin theta and cos theta you will find. Sin, there is phi. Okay. Now I will write these values. Instead of zeta, what we write here is adjacent sides to theta by hypotenuse. So cos phi, you can write cos phi. Cos phi into e power minus zeta omega n t into sin omega d t plus phi. At t is equal to tp, no? So here you can write tp. Square root of 1 minus zeta square is nothing but sin phi into sin phi here. So after getting this value, what you can do is you can write this in the form of the sin and cos. So it becomes cos a sin b minus cos a sin b. This is cos a sin b minus sin a cos b. So it becomes this value is zeta omega n into sin omega d tp, sin omega d tp plus phi minus phi. So it becomes sin a minus b. So sin a minus b means your trigonometric ratio. This is a trigonometric form of a sin a minus. So what we got here is sin omega d tp plus phi minus phi is equal to 0. Now plus phi minus phi gets cancelled and you will be having is equal to 0. So omega d tp is equal to 0, and for 0 will the sin value, the phi omega d tp value will be pi, 2 pi and 3 pi. For these values only this will become 0. So omega d tp is equal to pi we will take. Tp is equals to pi by omega d and tp is equals to pi by omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square, because omega d is equals to omega n into square root of 1 minus zeta square. So I would like to end the topic here, students. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.